been called lots of stuff. Yeah, I've done a lot of deed. I've had it rough and tough. You know I've smoked a lot of weed. Mellow, don't you know? Well, I've learned a thing or two, like when and where I should go to, what I should or shouldn't do. I've been left alone, no company, but that's alright with me, 'cause I'm big and ugly. I'm big and ugly. I'd like to let it grow, you know I'm talking about my beard. I'll have you all know that I know sometimes it might look weird, but I got a friend upstairs whom I'll keep confiding in. I know he's there 'cause when I knock he always lets me in. Brings me peace with what it is and what is not for me. To accept what I see, they're looking back at me as big and ugly. Big and ugly. I could have been small and cute and play a flute like a dream, or sing like an angel, maybe play ukulele. But I got to work with my hands and keep dragging it along, banging on that old guitar. Sometimes I'll write a song. I lose a few friends, so it seems I got no enemies. What you get is what you see, that's how it is with me, 'cause I'm big and ugly. I'm big and ugly. Big and ugly.
Hey everybody, welcome to a special Valentine's edition of the Big Uglies. Boy, this is a real fun thing. I'm coming to you guys alone at the moment, which is very fitting for Valentine's Day, because if you're watching this right now, you are also probably alone. I can't imagine tuning into the Big Uglies on a Friday night is on anybody's, Valentine's to-do list. Like, what we're going to do is we're going to watch these two fat guys talk about what's going on in the world. And then, yeah, that should get us juiced up enough to want to bang each other and make a baby. Is that what Valentine's Day is about? Making babies? It probably used to be at some point. Who knows? Who knows? As far as I know, it's all big candy selling chocolates. Not anymore. Not on Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s watch. There will be no more sugar. Sugar will be outlawed in the United States. So, I won't have an excuse. I'll have to start getting all my donuts and shit on the black market. I won't be able to make that. They put them on every corner. How are we supposed to not eat it all? So I hope you guys are having an all right start to your Friday night. It's late afternoon here for me. I'm looking a little tired around the gills. Yeah, it's been a wild. First of all, it's been a wild 6 months, but it's been a wild, busy week. And if you are in the Los Angeles area, first of all, while we're getting started here, by all means, go over to the Patreon, support us at the Patreon, patreon.com/thebiguglies. podcast. You can come over there and check out our show. It's really like the only home-based website for the show. You got the archive of every episode we've ever done as well. You know what I think I'm going to do is I think we might also make the Big Time Sports City Sports Show episodes available to people who subscribe to the Patreon as well. So maybe we'll go back and put those up for you guys to take a look at. But no, wild week. I had to get tires put on my car earlier today, which is always fun. I mean, that's how you and the two Mexican guys who do it want to spend your Valentine's Day. Now, I hope that they got in their little van and went home and just plowed their old lady something fierce, and that their night's better than mine. But very nice guys, very friendly. They will bring, I don't know if you know this, but they will bring the garage to your house. You don't have to go places anymore. And if you know me at all, you know one of the things I hate about Valentine's Day and just doing things in general is fucking lines, right? So like to me, the biggest concern that I have doing things is like, is there going to be a line? And am I going to have to wait in line for a significant amount of time? I hate doing that. And so when I was buying tires and they were like, we come to your house and do it at your house, I was like, that option, no matter the cost. And it's pretty great. You know, it's like two Mexican dudes in a truck pull up and they just basically do like a NASCAR pit stop in front of your house and give you new tires and you're good to go. You get back out there and you can beat the shit out of Danica Patrick's. So that I did. And then I was out late last night, came home late. It's been like that ever since Tuesday. We went to the comedy. We got to talk about this too when Carl gets in here. We went to the Comedy Store on Tuesday. Myself, Mr. Big Spit, our buddy Nick Romero, our buddy David Hahn, and we were out. We got chili dogs. We went to the Comedy Store and hang out. We were out super late. And then when you start getting into that comic schedule again, when you're out late at night, it's so hard to rebound. So I was up to like 3 last night and then had to get up at like 7 or 8 this morning. I had to get up earlier this week to play a redneck on One America News, which is a prerequisite. I think we're good here. Hold on. Do we have him? Let me make sure we are good to go. Mr. Big Spit Carl Spitali, are you with us?
Hello.
Hey, hellos. So yeah, a couple late nights this week, and next thing you know, like I got up, I hung out with the tire guys this morning. You took the dog for a walk, and then I came back. Yeah, I hung out with the tire guys while they were working on you know, I was talking to them while they were working. Isn't that how whites supervise? I thought they would do a better job if they knew my white gaze was there to supervise. And they're like, well, you know, we got to work fast, dude. He's going to like report us or something. I just to make sure.
They weren't that Mexican.
No, they were regular. They were Americans. They weren't like pick up the phone Mexican. You know what I'm talking about?
I just made a coffee and I don't know where I put it.
So yeah, you were like, I got to go do stuff. And I was like, I'm going to take a fucking nap. And I got like the best tiny nap I've ever had in my life today. And then we spent our Valentine's Day so far together. We watched the Goyge on Apple TV Plus. Look at that. He's already walking off the date. Imagine. It's just you guys and me. That's it. It's all you can depend on. There we go. I got abandoned for coffee. See that? Something in the other room.
My dog also has a new toy. So yes.
Gave us a real nice shot at a scalp there, buddy. Yeah, I was saying we watched the Goyge, which is kind of funny, which is, you know, I don't want to spoil it for people because I think it literally just came out yesterday or today on Apple TV. But it's a good movie, and it's pretty much about what started World War II.
It didn't not start it.
I mean, it had a lot to do with it. Let's just say that. So yeah, Valentine. You got any fun Valentine's Day memories for the group here, Carl?
Nah.
Nothing. You got nothing for them.
Valentine's Day isn't fun.
That's true. It's like it's the worst. I will tell you.
Valentine's Day is for them. It's not for us.
There's
never been a time that I'd be like, oh man, Valentine's Day's coming up. I hope she treats me.
Oh yeah,
it's never. I don't. It's never. It doesn't work that way.
It's insane. Well, and you want to talk about running the gauntlet in this house. This is the first time in 12 years I didn't have this thing. So like when people ask me like, why don't you do the road for like 4 months out of the year? It's because Thanksgiving in November, Christmas in December, my ex's birthday was in January, and then Valentine's Day 2 weeks later. So it's literally like spend money on them and do things, spend money on them and do things, spend money on them and do things for 3 months in a row, like every 3 to 4 weeks, and then after the birthday, it's 2 weeks. This is the first time I haven't had to do anything in years, and I could not be more ecstatic. Now, I will ask you, and this is not a preloaded question. This is not we didn't just rehearse this. We didn't discuss this ahead of time. Of the 12 years, how many times do you think something was planned for me for us to do on that day without any prior knowledge, just with what you know about men and women in general? 0 times. That is correct. Amazing that you got it on the first guess. Now, what made you choose 0?
Well, like I stated earlier, the entire day is
talking about the Valentine's Industrial Complex. Are we getting into the Valentine's Industrial Complex?
Yeah, the entire day is not geared for men at all.
You're out of frame.
Like at all. It's not for us. It's also a time when like it could have been like a dude just invented it just to be like, all right, one day a year I'm gonna be real romantic. So, like take your fucking, this is it. God, stop throwing shit at me, bro. He got a new toy and now he's like doing a show, buddy. Get over there. Yeah, it's not invented for us. It was as if a girl just cried and cried and cried. Like, we never do anything. And just like, fine. You're going to get 1 month or 1 day this month. And it just happened to be in February where the guy knew it was the shortest month. He's like, I got to get the fuck out of here type shit.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of the shortest month, right? It's the 14th of the 28 days. So it's like logistically a guy did it. Right? He's like, all right, 2 weeks here. That's going to be first of the month. 2 weeks later, I'm going to get paid. I'm going to take this fucking broad out, and that's going to be the end of it. Okay? Yeah. And for the next 6 months, she won't be able to say shit. I think that's what invented it.
Well, I wanted to point this out because we were talking about this the other day, and it was almost like magic that, you know, you and I were talking about this subject, and then this presented itself pretty quickly, right? And Zerka posted this. Zerka official said, I wonder if there's something more out there for me. So, and you basically translated, you go, okay, here's Leo Messi. Yeah, I'm not
one of the greatest soccer players to ever fucking breathe.
Yep.
And say the GOAT.
And definitely one of the wealthiest because of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So took his lady to some paradise, some beautiful looking place, blah, blah, blah. And you sent this to me with the caption, his picture, his Instagram versus her Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like what you're seeing here on the right. And I just want to translate this for people who don't understand. What you're seeing here on the right is the contingency plan. Okay. And this is what you have to pay attention to for the uneducated out there. Your woman is planting the seeds of a different life every second she's with you. If she's
even when she's with you,
right? And listen, I got to be very clear about this. People are like, well, you're on the woman hating warpath since you became a single guy in your 40s. I've been on this warpath since I was 17 years old. There is an absolute insane. This is gone with most young women from a degree of like slight selfishness and brattiness to absolute narcissism, and in some cases total sociopathy, where this woman is with, like you said, one of the most successful, wealthiest guys in the world, and she's like, I'm just gonna
also fittest guy, can run for hours.
Yeah. I mean, look at that. I mean,
he's one of the most talented like athletes ever. And she's like, her picture that she posts is her looking off into the distance like, oh my God, it's amazing. And here's the other thing too that I would love to point out. It's international and universal. She's not American. That's not a American ideal.
People try to say, well, that's just, people don't even try to say that's America. People try to tell me that this is a uniquely Los Angeles experience. And while I don't disagree that we live amongst the worst of this, it is not, the fucking outbreak is not contained to Los Angeles and New York. This is everywhere around the world. Yeah. Thank you, the internet. Thank you for spreading this virus. And it is this thing of like women being like, no matter what I have, no matter what I have in the world, okay,
there has to be something better.
There has to be something more, and there could be. And I used to fight about this with my ex all the time, where I was like, the reason, and I want to point this out to men, the reason women are so indecisive, modern women are so indecisive compared to men, is because men understand that with all choice there is sacrifice. Men understand that you're picking something over something else always. Women want to believe that there is a way to play the game where they get to win both things, always, with everything. The idea that sacrifice is part of decision making is why they cannot do it, because we live in a world with simp culture where other men constantly compete against each other to create an environment in these women's minds that is an option, that they can have everything. Right? And so that's exactly what this picture represents to me, as a woman going, sure, I'm with the richest, most successful, probably greatest soccer player that's ever lived, but what else could there be? Like, these are what are they, pioneers, explorers on the frontier?
She's sitting on the beach looking at the water going, but like, he doesn't have a boat.
Right. They start doing inventory of what they don't have.
It's just like,
that's her counting. Like, she's looking around going, why haven't we bought these yet?
I mean, it's nice and all, but where is his own boat?
And that's my point. And people think this is like, well, you guys are just angry incels, right? You just hate women. And it's like, no, this is my point. And I want to say this. If you follow this show, or you've followed my career as a comedian or anything like that, okay, I have been a cultural critic in my comedy and in podcasting since 2007, when I did my very first podcast ever. If you like it when I call out, when it's pattern recognition for blacks, or it's pattern recognition for gays, or it's pattern recognition for Muslims or Jews, if you like that, then you don't get to say, when I make pattern recognition observations about women, here comes that incel shit. And I'll be frank with you. The only reason you do that is because I'm fat. So this is the funny thing, is like, I'm going to have to lose weight so that people take my criticisms of women seriously. Okay. Yeah. And this is my point, is like, just because I look like a guy who you don't think can get women, by the way, if I showed you the roster of every woman I've ever slept with, you'd go, wow, that's surprising. And it's because I have a fucking personality. But more importantly than that, what you don't understand is that whether or not you like the messenger, the message is based in reality. It's based in truth. And I want to say this. People go, oh, well, this is just an LA perspective. This is just a severely online perspective. It's not. Not only as a comedian do I meet dozens and sometimes hundreds of people all over the country in different places. I, as a driver in rideshare companies since 2013, meet strangers every time I get in the car and go to work. Okay? And a lot of them are women. So I listen to women, not just from this city, but from all over the country and all over the world, talk about their values, what they want, what they're looking for, and most importantly, this phrase, what they think they deserve in life. I have never, in 10,000 plus rides, had a woman get in my car and talk about how hard she's working to earn something in her life that she really wants. I have heard probably 2,000 complain about what they're not getting from someone in their life that they deserve, whether it's their boss or their husband or their boyfriend or whatever. So this is not internet-based anecdotal feedback. This is a human being who lives his life amongst dozens and dozens of people a week that I've never met before, and they have no reason to disguise or hide who they really are from me. I get people at their most honest and vulnerable, probably even more so than a priest. Okay? And so when I tell you that this is a pandemic of sociopathic narcissism, I'm coming from one of the most educated places that a person can come from. Point blank. Your thoughts. You're kind of sinking in your chair. I hope I'm not bumming you out with this reality.
Oh, I don't care. They just suck. Yeah, just look at. Yeah, dude. That's why I believe in things like ageism.
I thought you were going to say this is why I believe in things like AIDS.
Yeah, that too. But like ageism.
Yeah.
Right? Shit like that is when women start getting upset that they're getting replaced.
They're aging out
by younger, hotter things. I'm like, yeah, that's how it goes. Maybe you shouldn't have been a bitch. Somebody would have loved you more.
That's what's so funny is like when women are hypergamous and they go, I want to be with somebody who makes more money. I want to be with somebody who's more successful or more ambitious. Nobody looks at that as a bad thing. They go, you go, girl, don't settle. When a man says, I want to fuck something younger and more fertile that could potentially give me children, that could give me different perspective, that could make me feel young, everyone goes, ew, fuck him. He's a fucking pig. And it's like they're doing the same shit. It's the same thing. So why is yours okay and the men's isn't okay? This goes back to what I always say about abortion, right? What people don't talk about in terms of abortion is it's not just women making the selfish decision to end a life. It's the reason they're doing it. They do it because of this underlying altruistic assumption that by doing it, they are creating a better life for themselves, more opportunity, more potential, more choice. Right? That's why they call it pro-choice and not euthanasia, which is what it is. Right? So this
you just asked them, yeah, but what's the choice?
Right. It's you
like,
get to do
you're
whatever
choosing.
you get to keep doing whatever you want, or you have to kill a person.
Well, they go, well, it's choosing what to do with my body. I go, yeah, but what are you doing with your body?
Right. Ending the life.
You won't get down to that pro-choice, pro-life. Like, and then I love the example. It was like there'll be a war, or there'll be some type of shit where you're like I want to cut and abolish Medicare, right? I go, the pro-life people, we want people to die. And like, why would people die? Because the government doesn't run healthcare anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make any sense. You're just like, the pro-life people are so pro-life. They want, and I go, wait, why all of a sudden are you trying to take the argument of pro-life and then throw it in people's faces when you don't believe it's a pro-life, pro-death, argument?
This discussion. Well, this was the same hypocrisy that came out during the vaccine. When people go, oh, I thought you were about bodily autonomy. Now you're okay with forced vaccination. So, the hypocrisy of that is crazy. And one of the big things that has really made me hardcore about this subject and the pro-life movement.
You're going to say hard. I'm like, ew,
no, it actually makes me the opposite. Nothing makes me softer than this discussion about this stuff with modern women. But when you cut down to it, when you have the conversation with a woman who is quote unquote pro-choice, I always like to get to the root of it. Is when does it stop being a choice you get to make and a person whose life has value and should be protected? And the unanimous answer always ends up being, when pressed, whenever the fuck I say it is. And it's that mindset that's poisoned them. So one of the things that I really try to push when I talk about the problem with abortion is not just the obvious thing that the other pro-life people like Lila Rose that are better at this debate subject than me focus on, is the science and the fact that it's an ending of human life. I like to get more into the philosophical understanding of what is the deeper existential, cultural, human cost of what we've allowed abortion to become in this country, which is merely a choice that someone makes for their happiness. And ultimately, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm talking to the dog.
Ultimately, there's a deep existential cost to this thing where these women are making a choice to put their own needs and desires over the life of another person. What's the ripple effect of that? How does that affect the sociopathic nature in which humans interact with each other after we have gleefully sort of made that choice time and time and time and time again? And these are the kind of things you're seeing where women go from this perspective of like, well, if ending a human life is really just about me making a decision to be more free and have fun, what the fuck? Why would I have gratitude for a man who's dedicated his life to a sport, making hundreds of millions of dollars, and then chooses to spend it with me? Like, they are incapable of gratitude because for 50 plus years, we've said, hey, if you want to kill a person because you might, I don't know, get to be an actress someday, go right ahead. You know what I mean? So this is why a woman is incapable, a modern woman, especially one with the pro-choice mindset, is incapable of genuine gratitude, because we've told them that human life is worth sacrificing for your desires and happiness and wants. So what is anything else?
Yeah, I just don't want the government to fund it. That's it. As soon as the government stops funding it, I don't give a fuck about abortion, because these goofy broads and their bloodline ends. I don't care about any of them.
Well, that's because you have the Roman Catholic foundational belief that you're just going to outfuck the bad people.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, they'll cease to exist.
Right.
So they're going to take themselves out of society. I just don't want the government spending $700 million a year on it.
Yeah. And that's probably a conservative estimate.
And, well, that's what USAID was documented as giving them. $700 million a year for Planned Parenthood. And it's like, okay, they found out that they're also the number one funders of the and proponents of gender affirming care surgeries. And I say that with, air quotes, because they're not affirming anybody's gender.
Right.
They're literally just mutilating kids and stuff. And it's basically a eugenics center for the United States. And to act like it isn't.
You said eugenics and defertilization.
Desterilization.
Yeah. Well, it's not desterilization, it's sterilization.
Right. Yeah. Well, the sterilizing of their youth and things like that is just like, okay, it's basically some children of men shit. You're like, how did we get to this point? Why aren't nobody having babies anymore? Why is the birth rate so low? And they can blame microplastics, which I'm sure has something to do with it. Environmental issues. But for the most part, all of these things are from the government getting involved and stuff. As soon as the government doesn't fund that anymore, I have no problem even worrying about these fucking goofballs, because they'll be like, it's the same. It's like, yeah, I can murder whoever I want. And they'll do those things, and people will just eventually stop talking to them, because, like, if it's a bigger like existential thing, simp men are the reason that it's gotten this way.
Oh yeah, I agree. Well, and now you're
like men are the reason that abortion even got so far out of hand. It's like, dude, they'll just fucking take care of it, dude. You can fucking nut in them. Who cares?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That entire mindset is, what drives it. And like, when girls got slut shamed,
you bring up an interesting point, which I do want to go. I'm not saying men are not responsible for the state we're in right now.
Yeah,
right?
But I'm just saying, when girls were slut shamed,
100% agree with you that men, we played and are like, oh, cool, we could just kill these things. Like, men 100% created the world. But by the way, good and bad, men created 100% of the world we live in today with everything.
Yeah. So that's the point of this, is just like, women are so agreeable and things like that. And they also want to do the opposite of what they're told to do anyways. So if it was
Going
just
to
like
your bit
if
about
you
the
just
Garden of Eden.
if they just literally leaned in, like men would be like, cool, all women want abortions, they're pieces of shit, they're whatever. If they just kept getting shamed for it, eventually they'd be like, I actually don't believe in that. Eventually they'll like try and go with the crowd who
Assimilate.
is
They will
against it.
assimilate. Yeah, they'll just
they're
assimilate.
agreeable.
Yeah.
And right now, being agreeable is like the number one. Like, I saw Leonardo take down, do a spot on breakdown of what's his name,
Ian Finance.
Yeah, dude, and everything I watched, it was like I don't know, 10 minutes or something, but like everything she said was so like spot on. It was like, yeah, he's not having jokes, he's having a meltdown, and even his response to her was like, well, if you really want to know, you fucking dumpy bitch. Like he said, the guy was drunk and calling shit out to me like all night. It was like about my politics and stuff. And I even replied to it. I was like, well, if you weren't so preachy about your politics on stage and just spewing off these fucking goof pussy points, this guy wouldn't be like Trump to you all night, right?
Well,
Like,
yeah, this is the Steve Hofstetter criticism, right?
yeah, and it's just like, write a fucking joke, man.
Yeah, you can't do call and response and then get mad when they participate in that with you.
Yeah, and it's just like, well, this guy was saying this shit all night. Well, then if that was a problem for you, kick him out, dude. You're not a fucking less of a, I don't think you're less of a man because you fucking told security, get this fucking guy out of here or something.
No, we do it all the time because the other thing you're doing is preserving the paid for show for the other 200 people.
So, but I do think that when he was just like, I fucked guys and women and trans, and she's like, gross,
gay.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, that's gross.
Yeah.
And this whole thing of like him getting in the dude's face, same type of shit. He was like, oh yeah, you're so cool, bro. We violate women's bodies. And you're like, violate women's bodies? You just advocated for fucking trannies.
Yeah.
If there's anybody who's violating women, it's these cosplaying goofballs, right?
Yeah.
And you're just like, dude, I sucked all the tranny dicks. And you're like, okay, that's fine. Again, I don't have a problem with you doing goofball shit. Write some jokes about it instead of just fucking this whole thing. Like so many people just do stand up to get on stage and fucking make a point.
A beautiful example of the right way to do that is the way Jim Norton has done it his entire career, where Jim's like, is my attraction to the transgender community about a deep compartmentalization of my own homosexuality? Yeah, but let's not talk about that. You know what I mean? Like, you can be self-deprecating and talk about those things in a way that doesn't do what he was attempting to do. And that is like, when
Jim Norton also had punchlines.
Yes. But when you start saying things like, we denigrate women's bodies, it's like, dude.
Oh yeah, you're a Republican, bro. First of all, dude, who the fuck is advocating for political parties, bro? I think the Republicans in Congress are fucking cokehead fags. I think the Democrats are all fucking weirdos. Why am I gonna be like, oh yeah, you're a Republican, bro? I was just like, that shit is gay anyway. Mm-hmm. So to get on like Team Blue on stage because you think they're gonna love. By the way, the irony of him calling Leonardo a goblin. I'm like, dude, are we really projecting here? You're like, bro, you look like you just came from Gringotts, you fucking hobgoblin. And this fucking he has the audacity to just get up there like, oh yeah, fucking cool guy. By the way, take off the Phillies hat, dude. What's under there? Huh?
Yeah,
you know, fucking. Yeah, I just this idea that you're just up there making a point and saying a bunch of things, and then everybody's gonna clap for you. Like that's why Leonardo made the reference of you being the same as Natalie, because that's the same idea of like you should be up here supporting me. It's like these are criticisms that you should be able to handle if you weren't a fucking woman. And he's such a fucking fag that he thinks women are going to get on his side. He might get some pussy out of it if he simps for them on saying, that's what I mean about the simp shit with abortions, simp shit with OnlyFans. It is men that are the problem, that they act like somehow, some way or another, they can get pussy from. That's why I always said male feminists are fucking rapists. You show me a male feminist, I'll show you a rapist.
Yeah.
Because like anybody who is advocating for intersectionality probably raped 13 women.
Right.
Like there's no fucking way.
Right.
There's a single person on earth that was just like, well, actually, because of intersectional feminism, we now know is like that guy should be on a list there.
Think about it from a basic pragmatic standpoint. Who would want to destroy the clear power difference in dynamic between men and women? People who look to take advantage. I'm just listen to me. People who look to take advantage of a certain situation, right? So like a guy who beats a woman would be like, aren't men and women essentially the same? Right? Yeah. That's the mindset. That's where that comes from. A guy who doesn't beat a woman is like, hit a woman. What are you, crazy? I'll fucking kill her. She'll die. I'm way stronger than her. You know what
Hercules? Get out of here.
I'm gonna fucking hit her. I'll kill her. So if you think about it, misogynists, by definition, are probably less likely to commit domestic violence because of their worldview than a fucking male feminist who's like, well, men and women, there's no difference between us. So she hit me first, I beat her face in. It's like that's fag logic.
Exactly. And I think just some of the comments on there were like, all things aside, dude, you fucking just admitting to being fucking gross on stage is not jokes. Well, right? Like that's how people were saying. It was like, you're just saying that you're gross.
And here's the real irony. Leonardo is coming at him from the perspective of a woman who has a mostly male fan base because she's overcome with her talent the trope that women aren't funny. And now you're talking to a man who's just up on stage being gross, which is the criticism of why most women aren't funny, because that's what they think is comedy.
He's literally doing woman comedy up there.
Yeah, so Leonardo is literally having to mansplain to a male comedian why he sucks.
Yeah, it is such a good point. He's literally doing stereotypical woman comedy, and she's fucking mansplaining it to him. And he's like,
so much dick, you guys. I've sucked so much dick.
And you're like, okay, but where's the punchline? He's like, no, that's it. Can you imagine this nose on a base of a cock?
Yeah.
You're like,
I'm pretty sure Judy Gold had that bit 30 years ago.
Some Jew did.
Yeah. So yes.
That's what we had on the agenda, criticizing women. That was on there.
Yeah. And then, but
finance over there.
How do you have a name that's so close to finance? It's
God.
So bad. It's I mean, it's it's funny to be like
Ida Finance,
Goldstein, Bankstein, Bernstein, Goldberg, but like
Goldstein.
Yeah, it's like that one's crazy. Some of these Jewish names are crazy when it comes to how close they are to money.
Yeah, like Moisha interest rate.
Yeah. Yeah. They pronounce the name April APR.
By the way, did you know that Israel's...
Here we go.
Did you know
Here
that
we go.
Hold on, listen.
We watched the Goyge and now you're going completely fucking World War II.
Shut up. Listen. Did you know that Israel's currency is the shekel?
Of course.
I thought that was just a thing for generations. Of like, yeah, with a couple of shekels, like it was just a, cliche phrase or whatever. Yeah, it's like literally when you go to look at the currency and stuff, you go, what does $1 equal in Israel? It's like however many shekels. And I go, that can't be a thing. They're still using that. It literally is a shekel, dude.
The Israeli new shekel, which translates to 0.28 United States dollars. Boy, talk about MAGA. That thing ain't even worth $1.
Man. So they're, a couple of shekels here and there. And See, what you have to do is devalue the currency so they don't think it's worth as much. And then you take in aid from foreign countries and then you launder the money and send it back on Swiss bank accounts. And, the rest is history.
Hold on. So hold on. This is another. So you think the evil thing about the Jews is that they're trying to lower the value of the dollar instead of raise the value of the shekel? Okay, I follow you.
Yes.
And this is why you need a sniper on each side of the Goyge.
Yeah. To contain what could be coming out of there.
Yeah, which apparently are a bunch of tree people with Jewish faces. We were watching it. I just looked at you and I said,
These are spoilers. Anybody want to turn away from the Gorge?
I am Jute. You almost pissed yourself laughing.
I am Jute. They just like came up there like almost climbing the wall with his nose. I swear to God, he was. He was like,
oh, that's so funny. Yeah, it's a good movie. If you have anti-Semitic friends, watch it with them. The movie will become a comedy.
You don't even have to be anti-Semitic just to have fun with it.
Yeah. Just think anti-Semitic thoughts and you'll have fun with the show. I promise. Speaking of good shows that we've been having a lot of fun with, man, we got to talk about this. Not that we're a show about shows, but we are going to be a show about this show. I said this to you before you started watching it. Is Severance the best show on television in 10 years?
10 years? I don't know what was on 10 years ago. Was Game of Thrones was still
Game
on
of
10
Thrones.
years ago.
Yeah, Game of Thrones was heavy going at 10 years ago. I think Severance is better than Game of Thrones.
I don't know.
They're
People say that about the
genre.
ending of Game of Thrones, the last season.
Yeah,
maybe. But we haven't seen how this ends yet.
That's true. That's true. So far, though,
the first two seasons of Game of Thrones are fucking awesome.
It's the most.
Khaleesi pulls her titty out like the first episode, and you're just like, "What is this?" She's like, "That's the dragon bitch," and you're like, "Wow, man, this is fantastic."
Yeah. Meanwhile, I pull my titty out and it clears the room.
That's the real Severance.
Yeah. It's the most excited I've been about a TV show in probably in 10 years. I don't think
it definitely makes you go, what the fuck is going on after every episode though?
Yeah. And there's also so many parallels to like life and the simulation theory that some people have, that we're all living in some sort of simulation. It definitely I think puts some science to that idea of living in a simulation, don't you think?
Yeah, because Elon's about that goofy shit too.
Yeah, putting things in your brain and allowing your brain to interface with computers and AI.
Yeah, that's like the transhumanist shit. I mean, there's like a gang of sci-fi movies and TV shows that you could like go down the list and be like, Severance is a good mix of all of those elements. And then you're like, I still don't know what the fuck is going on. And like that's the point. Like the point is to give you anxiety. Like the point is
like a Safdie Brothers movie.
Yeah, dude, it really is. Like I'm watching and going, man, this is weird, dude. Why? And like how they shoot it, the music that's in it, it's just all of it is like, fuck, dude.
I imagine I've never
stairs and shit between them and the bosses. And
I've never done meth, but I feel like the movie Uncut Gems is what it's like to be on meth.
This is definitely like a bad acid trip
of a
this
show.
Is like if you're on acid and then somebody was like, we got to go to work. You're like, dude, what the fuck?
What? How?
It's like I'm sitting at my desk and there's black paint dripping off the fucking thing.
Yeah.
This is not, I should not be at work, dog.
And also, the supervisor's a black guy. What kind of upside down world is this?
Yeah, this is definitely Stranger Things.
Yeah. Oh my God. If you had to tell somebody who hasn't seen Severance, if you had to pitch them, what would you tell people? Like pitch the viewers to watch Severance and assume they know nothing about it.
There's a I think I said it earlier. I think it's like Get Out meets Office Space.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Like,
it's a pretty good log line.
It's a workplace comedy. No, it's
well, that's what I thought of it when Apple first like released the trailers and stuff for it, I thought that's what it was like some sort of very Wes Anderson futuristic office space.
Yeah,
And
because it is like Being John Malkovich and Eternal Sunshine, like those movies where you're like, oh, this is goofy and weird as fuck, and like the aesthetics are like, what year is it? I don't know what's going on, type shit. There's like vintage cars. There's like the most advanced technology, but like all the computer screens are like from the 80s. It's like fucking all of it is weird.
I literally just had a theory about what happened on the show come in my mind, and I'm going to share it with you after we're done here because it just hit me like a bolt of lightning. Like, hey, what if it's this?
It's probably some sort of blockage.
Yeah.
Not
Well, I have a Glasgow block installed in my brain.
Some angina or whatever that shit is called.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely have angina from time to time. Yeah. I get more angina than vagina. I promise you that.
I believe that. I believe that.
Swimming in angina.
Did you have angina after the Super Bowl?
Did I? No. I was pretty numb after this. I didn't really care. You know, I had people texting me all over from all over the country, like, congratulations, go Eagles, go Birds, and I was like, yeah, I just don't. It's kind of a weird thing. Like, you kind of grow up, and it's like there's all these guys on the team that are like new, and you know, when you've been watching. I wonder how it is for my dad. It's like when you've been watching a team for 60 years, you're like, these are just new guys, like all the other new guys. And, you know, it's like, you feel like less and less sort of emotionally attached. I think the other thing that's different too is, and you can speak on this as well, whether you agree or disagree. Once you know actual players, it's hard to like root for guys that you don't actually know as people. You know what I mean? Like more.
Well, it's also like
them down to reality where you're like, okay, I know some of these guys and I really like those guys and they don't wear my guy's jersey. So who gives a shit about what jersey they're wearing?
I think it was just in the sense that like I still have a soft spot for my team, right? Like I like hey, the Jets, and this is like I've never seen them win as something like major other than go to the AFC Championship game.
Well, I can tell you with the first Super Bowl the Eagles won in 2017, it was emotional. I cried because I knew what it meant for my dad to watch that team his whole life, and they never won shit.
Yeah, and that's how I would feel if the Jets
won. The Jets won. But if they won a second one 4 or 5 years later with all different guys, you wouldn't give a shit. You would be
like, this is what we do.
Yeah.
You're like, welcome back. And this time around, I don't know. The Jets are a shitty franchise through and through. But I think there's like I said, there's like a soft spot.
We called
a soft spot in me that I will like cheer for them. But when I watch the games, like I can watch Red Zone and not care that they're not going back to the Jet game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can watch all the other games
because they're not in the red zone. But go on.
Somehow Devontae Adams still had 1,000 yards and Garrett Wilson did too. So
that's insane.
Aaron Rodgers was the 11th best quarterback in the league, but
didn't make the playoffs. And now he's gone, and everyone's saying, "Oh, Pittsburgh, San Francisco, whatever, Minnesota."
He's going to Minnesota.
We'll see. It does, of all the teams, though, it does make sense for Minnesota to bring in like a 1 year.
They're not going to keep Darnold,
and you don't know
he pissed the last 2 games away.
And you don't know what you have yet with JJ McCarthy because he was injured his whole rookie season.
Rookie salary cap anyway, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter cap wise.
And then it just seems poetic, I guess you would say. But as far as the Super Bowl itself, you're decent with math, so I'll say this. This has kind of been bothering me. This whole thing about like Kendrick Lamar broke Michael Jackson's record for viewership for the Super Bowl. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. No, he didn't. The same way we adjust money for inflation.
You
would go like, there's 50 ways to watch the game overseas, right?
Right.
Like the Americans
Doing
tuned in.
doing 133 million in 2025 is like doing 2 million when Michael Jackson did
1993
million.
Do you know what they had before Michael Jackson at the Super Bowl? They had In Living Color was on Fox doing like a fucking special. Everybody turned from the game to go to that. So the very next year after they had that, because I was in 92, I think they had that.
Mm-hmm.
The very next year, the Super Bowl hired Michael Jackson, who stood on stage for 5 minutes while 100,000 people were screaming. He just stood there. And then, boom, he disappeared in the stage and then reappeared on top of one of the lights on the other end of the stadium. You're like, this guy's a fucking magician, too.
Yeah.
135 million people watched that. 133.4 or whatever. Watch that. That's like all of America and the UK watched that. If Michael Jackson was still Michael Jackson, but it was in this era, he would have 500 million people watching that shit.
Yes.
There would be 500 million people watching that shit.
Or more.
Yeah, they're fucking retarded to say this.
133 million in 1993 was half of the US population at that time and probably 80% of household televisions.
Right.
80% of household screens now would be something like 300 million people for Kendrick Lamar to even do similar US numbers.
So for Kendrick, and they're like, he broke it by 0.1.
100,000.
He broke it by 100,000. So you know what last year's Super Bowl numbers were?
By the way, probably 1 billion more screens globally watching the game. You only broke by 100,000.
You know how many viewers they had last year's Super Bowl with Usher?
No.
129.5 or something like that.
Right.
It was a 3% increase.
Mm-hmm.
3%. That lines up with 3% growth each year.
Now, here's the question. What was the percentage increase from the year Michael Jackson did it versus the year before? 7 million %?
I got a better one to measure it. You know what the drop-off was in 94?
No.
It went from 133.4 to 90.
Yeah, huge. Almost half.
And it was like every star in country music. It was like Clint Black and Ashley
Brooks and
Winona Judd and shit like that. It was like the Judd sisters, and they did this whole country thing the year after Michael Jackson, and it got 90 million.
Yeah.
Just the next year, it was a dramatic drop off.
Almost 50 million less.
It didn't dramatically drop off from Usher to this.
No.
3% increase. That's the same if you told me I'm going to have all these corporate sponsors. We're going to put the game on Tubi. We're going to put it everybody in Africa and Australia is going to watch it globally. You get you'll get a 3% increase. Hey, that's pretty good, right? That's pretty good, right? 3%. That's how they would look at it.
Yes. Marginal.
Michael Jackson was a phenomenon. There was no social media, and that fool had people in the Vatican, in Rome, waiting for him to be there. There was 100,000 people there, and they were passing out and fainting for a week. There's no social media. How did they know they was going to be there? They sent a postcard or some shit? Like, what the?
Listen, there's a simple way to settle this. There's a simple way for Kendrick Lamar to settle this, okay? It's very easy. Kendrick, start fucking kids today and see how far you get before they get you.
Jesus.
See how many you get before they come get you. And then we'll see how close you are to Michael. And by that measure, Drake is a lot closer to Michael Jackson than you are.
He's like certified pedophile. Whack, 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 whack. Oh, here comes Mike.
Yeah.
It's like saying that like Candyman. A minor. He was like,
yeah, ridiculous.
I just don't think like it's so obnoxious. It'd be like nobody east of the Mississippi River listens to that fucking midget. He also wore $1,200 women bell bottoms on there. I don't know if you saw that. They revealed the jeans that he wore, and they're like, they sold out. And then people noticed it was like, wait a minute, these are women's jeans.
Here's my thing. Bell bottoms for a gangster rapper is a tough sell. Like
He's not a gangster rapper.
You're not getting me. Well, that's how people try to talk about him.
Well, that's it. He tried to lean into this, and here's the other phenomenon:
That's why he's doing
Drake
tracks at all.
the Drake beef. He called him a culture vulture, and he called him a pedophile.
Mhm.
He called him a colonizer and a pedophile.
Yeah.
So in black, whatever, ideology.
That's as Stanford upper middle class black as it gets to make those accusations.
Yeah, but him calling him that, black people immediately were like, I'm not fucking with a pedophile. I'm not. And
Right.
Oh, what do you mean he's a colonizer? Oh yeah, he is light skinned like that. He got a white mama. And all of a sudden, their blackness was questioned if they didn't fuck with Kendrick.
Right.
So they almost had to, by like a hostage situation. That's how all this woke shit works. It's a hostage situation,
Right.
where if you didn't fuck with Kendrick, you're probably racist and you're a bigot and stuff. And that's why people would like write on Keenan Baker and DC Irvin's posts and a lot of stuff that he was like, I'm a black guy and I didn't like it at all. And then people in the comments were like, that's because you a hater and you hate yourself. Self-hating black man right there. And he'd be like, why is that the case? And just like we were talking about women earlier, why is, when it comes to objective criticism, and the reason it's so prevalent, I'm going to say, hold on, the reason it's so prevalent in black culture is because they are raised by women. 76% of them in America are raised by women. So that's why they love to pander to women, to go, hey man, that's a female, right? When they could easily just go, yeah, fuck them.
I was just there to go, careful criticizing those black guys, Carl. Are you only doing that because black men refuse to have sex with you? What are you, one of these nig cells?
If anybody, I'm definitely wish that I could be just celibate sometimes and be like, man, I wish I could not want pussy.
It's so great. It's so great. Like
to be voluntarily celibate.
Well, that's the thing is like and I know like people be like, this is kind of gay and you'll make fun of me for this, but it's like I have to actually genuinely be interested in a chick to want to hang out with her at all, because I know the cost of what that means. I know what I'm going to have to put up with to want to be around her at all.
No, I basically have boundaries to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, I do too. If you're cool, we can hang out. The boundary is if you're not cool, fucking die.
I love how you're so. That's why I sent you that. I showed you that meme earlier when they were just like a dude with his piece. He's like, if you breathe wrong, you're gone.
I've seen all the kinds of pussy that there are. I've never seen like a new kind of pussy. We're like, oh my god. I've seen new kinds of pizza.
Negative.
I've seen new kinds of pizza pop up once every 5-10 years. They do something new with pizza, and I go,
seen a sideways pussy?
Yeah. Yeah,
I've Asian pussy with the slant.
Yes, I've shoved my penis in one that felt like it shouldn't be there. Like it's so small. You're like, this
had teeth?
Not okay. No, yeah. Well, it didn't have teeth. But
listen, I think this it's
yes,
fun.
I fucked an Asian before, Carl. Yes, and it felt wrong. That felt wrong.
I'm just saying there's a thing that it's one of my mantras, one of my that I would say. What's better than pussy? New pussy.
That's first of all, niggerdom confirmed from you. I mean, 100%.
What's better than pussy is new pussy, right? And so,
I disagree.
And the other thing, and this goes back to how we brought up the original thing with the bitch with Messi.
I would rather go to my favorite restaurant than a new restaurant. This is where we're different. Yes, 100%.
What if that new restaurant could be my new favorite?
That's black thinking. That's nigger thinking.
Stop it. It's not, dude.
Listen, what did I moniker you when we first started doing this? I was like,
no, this is what I'm saying though. My other
my
one would
blackest friend, whether you like it or not.
This one pertains to like the chick, even with Messi and all that. And I say this to my boys every once in a while. I go, hey man, there is nothing worse than a bitch that done seen it all.
Yeah, you said that a few times. Yeah,
there's nothing worse. A chick that's seen it all now has a standard of, well, I've been everywhere. I've done everything. So it can only go up from here, right? And you'd be like, no, That's why a nice, humble, small town girl is still appealing in this new age because she hasn't done all the things. She hasn't been to the new restaurant. She hasn't been to the
show 90 Day Fiance is a good example of this because people go, why would these loser men go to like third world countries to get wives? And I'll just
where do they go? Oakland?
No, season 1. No, that would be a mistake.
It's a third world country.
They don't even know how to use toilets from there. The perfect example is in like, I think it was season 1. There's like this nice Mormon kid gets a chick from like Croatia or something, and he's going through the grocery store and she's looking at canned tomatoes and she goes, "You don't have to crush yourself." Wow, wow, wee, wow. Like she's blown away that we just have stores that have food that is already made to eat, and she's just like, oh, and I go, oh, that's why you go.
It is. That right there is it.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than a bitch that doesn't seen it all. Because when you see a show like Love is Blind, the only thing that's left for them is to just pretend that they're not superficial, that they're not these things. So they're like, they'll close their eyes and shit, but like, you know, go in the other room. This is great. I can just talk to you. And then when they're out of there, they're just like, I changed my mind. I actually want somebody who doesn't look like you, but has all the things as you. It's like,
it's so funny
there's no such.
They literally go through this whole process and quote unquote bond. They bond with men emotionally, right? And then they come out and they go, actually, I changed after 6 weeks together. I changed my mind. I kind of just want a sociopathic lumberjack to kill fuck me. And you're like, oh, I'm glad you. I'm glad. My point exactly.
How you doing?
And I'm the guy on the other side of the pod going, I thought you were a nice girl. Fuck you. Now I got to serial kill everybody from the show. So yeah, it's so ridiculous. I mean, it's just so crazy to me. It's like, and it's like they hate, they're like constantly at war with themselves in the sense of like, I just want like a nice, smart, sensitive guy, you know, and then they meet that guy and they go, ugh, I just want like a fucking big Viking to punch fuck my pussy till it bleeds.
Well, have you ever seen?
Ugh, why doesn't the Viking who punch fucks my pussy have any sensitivity or empathy or intelligence?
Yeah, so all the things that they claim that they want.
It goes back to what I said from the beginning. They cannot evaluate the concept of sacrifice. They are unless it has to do with an unborn child.
Yeah, but everything that they want for a guy to be, give me flowers, I want him to do this, is because the guys they want don't do those things. Right? The guy that they want doesn't want to, bitch, what the fuck you need flowers for? Right? They're going to die in a day.
Right.
And they go, ugh, I hate how fucking mean he is sometimes. Just one time, I just want him to get me flowers. Why? Because you think him doing that is you weakening him. You taking him down a notch.
Interesting.
You bringing him down to a level that he wasn't going to do. Right? So every once in a while, this goes back to, and this is our Valentine's Day thing. This goes back to Valentine's Day.
You see it as an obedience exercise.
It is. All of it is.
Okay. All right. I like it.
Why do you think they have books geared towards them about think like a man and feminism is all based on competing with men and shit? All of it is to try and take them down a peg and shit. And you know, you got to be the rock in the stream and be like, no, right? That's why a guy invented Valentine's Day. It was like, all right, bitch, one fucking day out of this month, and that's all you're going to get. I'll get you flowers, there'll be chocolate, and teddy bears. Yeah, bitch, a fucking teddy bear too. And then after that, it like keeps them satisfied knowing that like, well, I still got this, you know, savage that I actually enjoy. Like, yeah, that's the thing that keeps them in place is the fact that you can do those things, but you don't do them all the time. It was like, I go back to the thing when the chick told me, you know, when I was back in college, there's a difference between nice and sweet. Girls like sweet. They don't like nice. Yeah. Sweet, you know, sweet is the flowers and the candy and shit. Nice is, all right, girls' night. I'm going out to look like a slut. I'm going to hang out with my ex-boyfriend. And you'd be like, no, the fuck you're not. Right? A nice guy is like, okay, babe, have fun, do whatever. Yeah. They don't like nice. Yeah. They want you to fucking go, bitch, you ain't going nowhere.
Right.
They want that. As much as they'll be like, it's so controlling. You know, if a dude told a girl, I don't want you going out, I don't want you going to these places or any of that stuff like that, the fucking internet would call him a fucking misogynistic, controlling. Every woman on earth would understand if they go, I don't let my boyfriend go out.
Right.
Every woman on earth to go, that's right, because we all want to fuck your boyfriend. Because that's, and you ever notice too that when you're single, women can like smell it on you, like they know that you're single. And as soon as you got a new chick or you've been in a relationship for a while, you're like, why the fuck is this bitch eye fucking me in front of my girl? Bitch, I'm with my family, bitch, right? They only want
happened for 12 years. And it's even worse when you have a TV show. When you have a TV show, even when you have a little baby shitty TV show on basic cable.
It doesn't matter what it is. You could run a shoe store. They don't give a fuck what it is. They just don't want to do the building. Somebody else built that up or was there for that or saw the potential. And they did the screening process for them. They don't have to do anything. Now they're just like, yeah, I'll have him. They're like, well, you don't get to have that. Why? Yeah. Why not? It's like, because you're a cunt. That's why. It's like, you don't get it. Like that. The whole cake and eat it too was an analogy to explain to women, and they still don't get it. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah. So, and moving on from cunts is something else. America's got to stop being cunts, man. We gotta get behind Team USA. What is with ESPN still showing highlights of the Super Bowl when we got a game against Canada on Sunday in the Four Nations?
Yeah.
Or Saturday, excuse me.
Yeah. With probably the best core of American hockey players in 15 years.
Stop being cunts, ESPN, and show the boys. Yeah. Like, you're not going to rally support. When the Olympics come on, you're finally going to root for us in the gold medal game. Like, this is something. Dude, Canada is booing us at a hockey, and it's in Montreal, right? So we're singing the national anthem. Fucking Iraq didn't even do that. In 2003, we were going to kill them. Right? Yeah. Boo! You're just like, okay, you cocksuckers. Now we're going to beat you in the game you invented, right?
Yeah.
Like, there should be so much more pride in all of our sports like that. Team USA hockey, Team USA soccer. And the reason that people are basketball. But people are indifferent even on basketball because like just more of the same shit. We almost lost to Puerto Rico. It's like we almost lost to we almost lose to who'd we almost lose to in basketball? It was some fucking crazy Sudan or somebody crazy like that.
Well, that makes sense to me.
With the air up there.
Yeah.
And it was somebody crazy like that. You're like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Speaking of Sudan, I said this today. I got the wheel. They got the tires changed on the car, and I took it for a spin. Just to see how it felt after having these tires on for a while since I bought it. And I was on the phone with my mom, and she goes, "How's it driving?" I go, "I literally feel like an African kid who put on Nikes for the first time." It's like, is this what the rest of the world runs around like? Like, that's how I felt. So when you said Sudan, I would go, dude, imagine going your whole life and playing basketball in your bare feet, and then you get to go to the Olympics, and then like, try these. Of course you're gonna beat Team USA. You're just like, oh my god, my feet are not bleeding. You know what I mean? Like, of course Sudan's gonna. They're like, we don't even practice in sneakers, and now we get to play in sneakers. You guys are done.
People say that about like Jokic too, right? Nikola Jokic, arguably one of the best players in NBA, wins the finals, then it's just like, yeah, bro, I'm going home for like 3 months, not even going to think about basketball. And they're like, isn't it crazy when you got to play in the Boston Garden or all these places? He's like, bro, I play in Serbia. Have you ever seen like a video of that when he says, bro, I play in Serbia? And they cut to
watch. I try not to watch any basketball ever.
Bro, they cut to, dude, just look up a Serbian basketball crowd. There's fucking smoke bombs going off. The whole place is doing it. It looks like the most insane college game you've ever seen. And that's why he's like, yo, dude, NBA is nothing. It is bullshit. He's like, dude, Serbian basketball is fucking awesome as far as crowds go.
I'll pull it up here for the
it's like a psycho soccer game, like how they like Turkish soccer games and like all those fucking crazy German games and shit like that in Bundesliga. Serbian fucking basketball off the chain, dude. Let's see if we can pull it up.
Yeah, I got it right
out of here. We got dude. Come on.
That's fucking crazy.
Come on, bro. Is there sound on there? Looks like they're fighting in the gorge, dude.
You're gonna sacrifice a fucking human body after this.
Yeah, dude. NBA ain't got shit on this. People are on fire. It's like a Slipknot concert.
Yeah, it really does look like a Slipknot concert.
Imagine trying to run up court and the fireworks are going off in mid-game. No, they didn't win yet.
Amazing.
There's even a cut up too that says like Nikola Jokic, and he says, "Bro, I play in Serbia," and then it's just like a fucking, I don't know, one of them crazy like EDM cut ups and that shit.
By the way,
but that's what I want for Team USA, dude.
This would be a fun time to point out that Cam Newton projected that in 10 years' time the WNBA would be bigger than Major League Baseball. I just want to point out it ain't even close to Serbian basketball yet, dog. Like if the WNBA could get to that level of excitement, maybe.
Yeah, we just want to see hoes dunk. That's what they don't understand.
Yeah. Well, that's why the Jews tried to get men to put on wigs and Juana Man their way into the WNBA. That was the whole goal.
That was a documentary.
Juana Man? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They had no idea that they projected the future. All right, man. Well, we're a few minutes here before the Friday night Biggest Problem in the Universe. Our friends Dick and Vito over there at their channel. Check them out. Biggest Problem in the Universe.
Are you plugging you got some plug?
We got some exciting stuff coming up. Nothing confirmed date-wise yet, but there'll be some shows confirmed very soon, starting in April. So I think we'll have 2 dates to promote in April, and then a bunch more throughout the summer. And yeah, there's, I guess I could share some fun. I don't have them downloaded, so I won't post them. But yeah, we had some fun working with AI and working on flyers. And so, you know, there'll be the America Strikes Back tour this summer. Some of the lineups will be me, Anthony, and Gavin. Some will be just you and I. Some will be us.
You're on a show tomorrow. That's dope.
What's that?
You're on a show tomorrow. That's dope.
Oh yeah, I guess I am on that show. I think that show's sold out. But tomorrow I'll be, you know, if you want tickets, you'll have to go get them right now. But tomorrow I'll be opening for Adam Carolla at the end. 2 shows, 6 and 8 p.m. in Torrance. It's actually me, Leonardo Joni, and Adam Carolla. So that'll be a fun.
I might swing by.
Yeah,
I might swing by.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, it'll be good. You know, I'm opening the show, so generally when you open and you're not that familiar with the headliner, you're not really gonna rock the boat as much as you would when it's your show and you're doing your thing. So it'll probably be one of the more tame sets you see me do. The funny thing is that I have no doubt that Leonardo will not make that same consideration whatsoever. So you'll probably get her normal stuff.
You could throw some softballs down the middle for her though, basically instead of.
Oh yeah, I can tee her up beautifully. So
yeah. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. You, Leonardo, and Carolla.
Adam Carolla, yeah. Who I've actually, believe it or not, I don't think I've ever met him. I don't think I've ever met Carolla in the US. So
yeah, just
funny enough.
Wash your hands afterwards.
Is he one of those too? Like what's his name?
Opposite. He doesn't use soap.
Oh, gross. Oh, wow.
Yeah, you got to wash your hands after. I said.
Well, what if I stink palm him? What if I'm worse? What if I one up him?
Dude.
Would you like a chocolate covered pretzel?
Oh God. It has so much like fucking PTSD of my childhood because I feel like when everybody saw Mallrats, they all tried to do that for like 6 months.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah, I'm sure that was.
You know why? Because the chocolate covered pretzels and other chocolate covered things you could just get from those candy stores at the mall.
Right.
And shit.
Yeah. Or the grocery store.
He was like, dude, you can get something. I'm like, mm-mm. Anybody that had chocolate to give me, I was like, nope.
Yeah. Yeah. I would never really like chocolate covered pretzels, and I definitely didn't after that movie. All right, everybody. Thanks for a great show. Happy Valentine's Day.